Hi, welcome to the coffeedirect kitchen. Today we're going to talk you through an amazing recipe for a vegan coffee cake, and what's amazing about this recipe is you can cook it in the microwave. So let's dive straight in, shall we? For this cake you need 200 millilitres of vegan milk alternative. Here we're using unsweetened almond milk. You need 15 millilitres of lemon juice, a tablespoon of your favourite coffeedirect coffee brewed into a 15 millilitres serving, 250 grams of self-raising flour, a quarter teaspoon of baking powder, 200 grams of light brown sugar, 100 millilitres of vegetable oil, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So to start with, you want to take a microwavable container. We are literally using a plastic Tupperware, and you want to line that with baking paper. That can go on the side for now. So for the recipe, you want to start by taking your unsweetened almond milk or your milk alternative of choice and your lemon juice. Pop that straight in there and give that a stir until it starts to thicken and curdle. This happens fairly quickly, so you aren't going to be sat here stirring for a really long time. There you go. So once that's just started to curdle, you can pop that to one side. For now, you can also pop your coffee to one side as you won't need it just yet. Then you take your dry ingredients, so that's your flour, your baking powder and your sugar, and put all of it in a large bowl. And then you're going to want to give that a stir to make sure it's all really nicely combined. So next you want to take your wet ingredients, so that is your vegetable oil, your vanilla extract, your coffee and your milk with the lemon juice, and pour all of that into the same bowl. There's no order that you have to do this in, it's really as simple as dry ingredients and then wet ingredients. The one thing you might just want to make sure of though is that your coffee has had time to cool down slightly, because you don't want it to start cooking your flour when you pour it straight in, which is what can happen if it's still sort of really hot or boiling. So once all of those are in the bowl, you want to stir that really well to form a batter. Don't worry if it's lumpy to start out with. If you just keep stirring, those lumps will come right out. You can also use an electric mix for this as well. We're using just a spatula, but you might want to use an electric mixer as it could be a little bit quicker for you. So once you have your batter all lovely and mixed together, take the microwavable container that we lined earlier with baking paper. Just make sure your baking paper is properly in there. And then pour your batter, all of it, straight in. Just give it a little bit of a smooth over the top. And then all you've got to do is pop it in the microwave for about 5 minutes. So a lot of people don't actually know that you can cook most cakes in the microwave if you don't have an oven or you just want to make a cake really quickly. The trick to it is take the oven baking time, divide it by 4, and that gives you the time that you'll usually need to cook it in a high-powered microwave. You might find it takes a little longer, a little shorter. It really does depend on the size of your cake and how powerful your microwave is. The best way to go is go a little bit under and do it for an extra sort of 30 seconds in little intervals just to make sure it's cooked through. That's what you can also do with this cake. So we're saying 5 minutes, cook it for 5 minutes, but if you find your cake needs a little bit longer, then do 30-second intervals. So we now have our cooked cake, and what we've done here is taken it out of the microwave, taken a skewer, firstly to check it's cooked, and because it was cooked, we then continued to put lots of little skewer holes in it. So you can now see that it is nice and full of holes. What we also have here is some homemade coffee syrup. This is super easy to make. All you have to do is take 50 grams of sugar and 150 millilitres of coffee already made up. Put them both in a pan, give them a stir and let them simmer, not boil but simmer, for about 3 to 4 minutes and it should go lovely and thick and syrupy. So that is exactly what we have here. To finish off your cake, all you want to do is pour this syrup right over your cake and all of that will go into those little holes that you've made. So what this is going to give you is a really lovely moist cake full of coffee flavour and really, really beautiful, and of course completely vegan friendly. And do you know what? It took us less than 10 minutes to make. How great is that? We really hope you've loved this recipe and we really, really hope you guys will enjoy making it at home. For more coffee content, be sure to click subscribe.